Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this live episode of Ask Huda, broadcasting live to you from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. We have, as usual, a number of questions that we would like to answer before receiving your phone calls. The first question is from Ubaid. He says that I see people from Ahlul Bid'ah, meaning that the people who innovate in Islam. They claim that they see the Prophet ﷺ in their dreams, and they also claim that they also see the companions and other pious people in their dreams. Why is it so that people who innovate in religion of Allah most see the Prophet ﷺ the most? First of all, not everyone who claims that he had seen the Prophet ﷺ is telling the truth. So he might be telling the truth and he might be lying. So people of innovation, people of deviation, it is easy for them to lie, to make up stories, and to claim that they had seen the Prophet ﷺ in their dreams. And this is one of the major sins of Islam, to pretend that you have seen something which you did not. Not only the Prophet ﷺ, any dream that you make up and you tell someone, I saw so and so, and you did not see it actually, this is a major sin. So lying is not that bigger sin in their favor. They innovate, they deviate, they fabricate things in Islam. So it is normal for them to lie. But there is a possibility that they are telling the truth. And if they say that they had seen the Prophet ﷺ, this is truthful and they're not lying, they could either have seen him or not. See, the Prophet told us ﷺ, whoever sees me in his vision, in his dream, then he had seen me. Which means that he would also, this individual would see the Prophet ﷺ on the Day of Judgment. And this is one of the interpretation of whoever sees me, then he will see me when he's awake. Not in this world, because the whole of the scholars, the majority of the scholars say that it is impossible to see the Prophet ﷺ alive again in this world. This is preposterous. But they interpret the hadith as to mean that you will see him on the Day of Judgment, or that you have a special meeting with him on the Day of Judgment if you had seen him in your dream. But there is a very important condition that has to be fulfilled, and that is that you should see him and be able to describe him. So if someone says that I've seen the Prophet ﷺ and I've heard a voice telling me that this is the Prophet ﷺ, but I did not see his face, or I saw his face yet the description does not fit the Prophet's description sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if someone tells me that I saw the Prophet ﷺ and he was short and skinny, or he was black, or he did not have a beard, or he was this or that, that does not fit the description of the Prophet ﷺ, then he had not seen him. Yet whoever is fortunate to see the Prophet ﷺ as he was described to us, in this case, this is a glad tiding, inshallah, that on the Day of Judgment he will see him. But this does not mean that the way this individual is doing, whether he's one of the followers of the deviant sects, or an innovator, or someone who's not practicing, this doesn't mean that his way is correct. Maybe Allah Azza wa Jal would guide him through this vision to become a practicing Muslim. Abdullah says, what's the best time to pray Fajr? Her question rose because she lives in Jordan and she hears a lot of the people doubting the time of Fajr. And this is an issue of dispute among scholars. However, the Prophet ﷺ told us to abide by seeing the true dawn breaking, because there's a false dawn and a true dawn. Now in cities it's difficult for us to do so. So scholars differed. Some of them even went to saying that the time of the adhan of Fajr in accordance to the calendars is 20 to 30 minutes earlier. And this is a lot of difference. Shaykh bin Uthaymeen said, may Allah have mercy on his soul, said that it is 5 minutes only, the difference between the calendar of al-Qura and the actual adhan. So if you wait 5 minutes, and alhamdulillah, since a year and a half almost, even the adhan in of Mecca is being postponed about 6 minutes from the time of the calendar. Before, like 10 years ago, it was coinciding with the calendars. But after the fatwa of Shaykh bin Uthaymeen and after a lot of investigation, they have delayed it about 5 to 6 minutes after the calendar. And therefore, if you are following the calendar of al-Qura, I suggest that you wait 5 to 6 minutes afterwards, and then you may pray Fajr. Shaykh al-Munajjid, may Allah preserve him, told me personally that he asked Shaykh Salih al-Fawzan, the great scholar, the contemporary scholar. And he told him that he himself went to the desert and he anticipated the break of dawn, and it was exactly as what was written in the calendar of al-Qura. So if you give 5 minutes just to be on the safe side, that would be great, inshallah. We have a caller. Sister Reem from Saudi.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I would like to know celebrating birthday and wishing birthdays in Islamic ruling.
Wishing what?
Wishing birthday.
Birthdays.
Yeah, celebrating birthday and wishing birthdays in Islamic ruling.
Okay. Any more questions?
No, thank you very much.
Okay. Abdul Karim from Saudi Arabia as well. Abdul Karim.
Yes, hello?
Yes.
Yes, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yeah, I had a few questions here.
Okay.
The first one being, is a woman allowed to enter the Prophet's Mosque or Masjid al-Haram in her menses? And if she can she enter the Rawdat al-Jinnah area as well and make dua just by sitting there?
Okay, second question.
And the second question is, like, are we allowed to make a dua in the sujood, in the farad prayers, in our own language? I mean, apart from Arabic language, whether it be in English or something like that.
Okay.
And also, while making this dua, do we have to specify for whom we are making this dua? We can make this for the Muslims in general.
Okay.
It would be the same. What age should a child be told to wake up for the Fajr prayer? Like for suppose my daughter is for 7 years old. So should I start waking her up now or later on, or she can pray the missed prayer of Fajr?
Okay. I will ask. You're welcome, inshallah. Okay. Okay. Bakir from Mecca?
Yeah, Makkah.
Yes, Bakir. What can I do for you? Listen to me from the phone.
Yeah.
Listen to me from the phone and mute your TV, please.
Yeah, okay, 1 minute. How are you, sir? Good? Hello?
Yes, brother. What's your question?
Sir, just now, the last 10 days, I became a father.
MashaAllah.
And it's a baby boy. So, I kept the name Abdul Basit.
Okay.
Abdul Basit. So, just my question is whether, I want to call like Basit. So, will the meaning will change? For example, like, or we have to tell him Abdul Basit every time. So this is my question.
Okay.
By the way, I am Zaki, Z-A-K-I. They mentioned my name Zakir.
Okay.
I am Z-A-K-I, Zaki.
Zaki. Okay, Zaki. I will answer your question, inshallah.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Akhi. Abdullah from Nigeria. Abdullah from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam wa rahmatullah. I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for asking, Abdullah.
Sheikh, I have 3 questions. The first one is regarding the issue, the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ states that a person, whenever he encounters a place where people are learning the religion, he should sit down and get barakah from that place. So So I'm asking, will you regard like listening to the lectures before Huda on a Friday, do you regard that as such, Islamic such teachings?
Okay.
Where a person will get barak from? That's the first question.
Okay.
The second question is regarding the dua. The dua I had from a friend said anybody that says Bismillah 21 times before he goes to bed.
How many times?
Going to get sawab. 21 times. Bismillah, la ilaha illallah. Sorry, yes.
21
La ilaha
times.
illallah.
21 times.
Or Bismillah. 21 times, yes, before going to bed. That for every breath that he will be given a reward for every breath while sleeping. The third question is regarding the naming of your children. We know Asma Allah al-Husna, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Alhakeem, An-Nur, all Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's beautiful names. Some people, they give their names, children such names as An-Nur and Hadi, and I beg your pardon, like your name, Al-Hakim. What's the ruling on such names? Thank you very much.
I will answer the question, inshallah. Muhammad from Nigeria as well. Yes, Muhammad. Alaikum salam, ya akhi. Raise your voice, I cannot hear you. Alaikum salam.
I have two questions, sir.
Okay.
And the first question, when I'm listening to the Quran, maybe on my phone or on the radio, can I read together with the Quran? Maybe if I know the ayat, can I follow it?
Okay, so you want to read it from the Mus'haf while listening to it from the radio?
Yes, I'm listening it. While I'm listening to Quran, can I follow it together with the Imam of this reading?
Okay, second question. Muhammad is gone? Okay. Fatima from Dubai.
Hello?
Fatima or Muhammad?
Muhammad.
Okay, Muhammad is with us. It's okay.
Yes.
Muhammad, yes, second question.
Yeah, tasbih with the left hand, is it halal or haram? Someone said it's haram.
To do what? To do what with the left hand?
Tasbih.
Tasbih, okay.
Counting tasbih, yes.
Okay, third question.
And also, last week I asked the question but you didn't get it correct. Muslim, I said Muslim.
I didn't get that question.
WHISTLING, is it halal or haram?
The beads? Subha?
Muslim.
I can't understand you, Muhammad.
Okay.
Okay, let's take these two questions.
Okay.
And Fatima from Dubai.
Okay.
Fatima from Dubai.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam tullah.
Yeah. Sheikh, this is Fatima. I'm calling from Dubai.
Okay.
I have a few questions. I have two questions
Okay.
regarding one for the Islamic finance and banks.
Okay.
And number two, my question is, as we live in Dubai, there are lots of Islamic banks who are operating. But, I'm not very much sure, people have doubts about their products. Are they really Islamic? So as a customer, how can we, judge? Because, for me, if I am going for a banking option, I will go for Islamic bank. But how can I judge, this is because I don't have a finance knowledge or something, the products are really
Okay.
Islamic.
Second question.
I don't want to get into the interest and thing, but there is lots of, confusion. The products are really Islamic or not?
Second question.
And my husband, he is also a banker. And what I believe, once I want him to switch to the Islamic finance side, where can we get the exact, guidance for this field? Because I believe that there should be good people who should work for Islamic finance, so that when Muslims should have an option to join Islamic finance and banks as a career. And my second question is trading in stocks. If you work from your home and trade in stock, is it right in Islam? Is it jaiz or not?
Okay.
Thank you, Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh. Okay. Finally, we have a chance to answer the question after 13 minutes, well, almost 15 minutes of beginning the program. I'll take one question from the internet, then I will go to the questions that we have just heard. Uzma says, if a person wears makeup for his home and it does not appear to be waterproof, and then they want to perform wudu, is a prayer valid, or do they have to repeat the salah if they realize after the salah that there is still some left in their faces? First of all, if the makeup is waterproof, you have to remove it. This is not permissible for you to make wudu on that. And if it is removed but only the color remains, so for example, if I take a pen and I do this on my skin, now this is a color, it doesn't have any mass to it. So if I perform wudu and the color is there, it's like henna, it's no problem. The wudu is valid. But when you put the foundation, for example, or you put a waterproof mascara, or you put any eyeliner that is so thick that would definitely prevent water from reaching the roots or the skin or what's underneath it, in this case your wudu is invalid. So if it's not waterproof and you removed it as to the best of your ability and there is some coloring, the coloring do not affect your wudu is intact. First question from Sister Reem. She says, what's the ruling on wishing someone a happy birthday? It is exactly like celebrating a birthday. See, the concept is the same. If someone was born on the 23rd, for example, of the month, and on that day we simply make a cake to him and give it to him, this is a celebration. If we tell him without making a party or giving him a gift, happy birthday, this is a celebration. If we give him a gift on that particular day, for that particular reason, this is celebrating, and all of this is not permissible. Abdul Karim from Saudi Arabia, she says, can a woman in her menses enter al-Masjid al-Haram or the Masjid of the Prophet ﷺ? The answer is no, she is not allowed to enter any masjid at all, because these areas have to be purified and they have conditions, and among the conditions is that no woman in her menses and no person in his sexual the state of sexual impurity may enter this masjid unless there is no other way for him to move from point A to B except through going that masjid. Then he should do that as quick as possible and not remain there. She says, can we make supplication in our sujood in our own native language? And the answer is yes, providing you do not know how to do it in Arabic. So for example, if I want to say, oh Allah, pay off my debt, I would say in Arabic, Allahumma qdi dayni. If you don't know how to say this in Arabic and you have a debt you want Allah Azza wa Jal to pay off for you, then you may say it in your native language. But if you know how to say it in Arabic, you should say it in Arabic. Do we have to specify the person that I am making dua for? If I have a neighbor and his son is sick, or if I have a brother in the UK, I know one of the good Salafi brothers in the UK, may Allah Azza wa Jal preserve him, he was blessed with a child, and the child has undergone a number of surgeries, and she's still like 3 months old in her spine, etc. So he says, make dua for me. So when I prostrate, I would say, oh Allah, cure his child. Now I did not specify that this sheikh's name is so and so and so. There's no need, Allah knows. But if Abdul Karim is saying that, should I specify a person or should I make the dua for the whole entire ummah by saying, oh Allah, cure all those who are ill and sick? Well, if you specify a person, this is better, because then your da'wah, your supplication would be directed to someone in particular. But if you make it in general, this is also permissible. Her third question was, what age should we start to wake up our children for Fajr prayer? The answer is, the Prophet told you, ﷺ, order them to pray when they're 7 and spank them to pray when they're 10. So you have 3 years of waking your children for every single prayer to pray on time. But you never reprimand them, you never beat them, you never punish them for this. You just order them. So if your children sleep at normal time at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock p.m., waking them at 4 or 5 is easy. it's normal. So you can wake them. It will be a little bit of a struggle, but eventually they'll wake up. But if your child goes to bed at 1 or 2 o'clock, as in some families who stay up late, waking the child at this age after 2 or 3 hours of sleeping, this is not logical. So yes, you try to wake that child. If he doesn't wake up, or if she doesn't wake up, then leave her. But this is not on a daily basis. This happens once every blue moon. They have to sleep early so that they can be trained to wake up on time. Zaki from Mecca, Saudi Arabia, he says that he has a child and he called the child Abdul Basit. So can he call him Ya Basit? And this is also brings us to the question of Abdullah from Nigeria in regards of the rules on naming the children or the people with names that Allah Azza wa Jal has. There are names that we cannot share with Allah Azza wa Jal. So for example, if we say that, can I call myself Rahman? And he says, no, this is only for Allah Azza wa Jal. Can I say, call myself Al-Khaliq, the creator? Allah Azza wa Jal is the creator, etc. But there are other names that are common, and as long as you don't put the prefix abd, the slave of or the servant of, then it's okay. For example, Allah Azza wa Jal's beautiful names include As-Sami' Al-Basir. And Allah Azza wa Jal told us that He made the human being to be Sami' Basir, hearing and able to see. Allah's beautiful names Ar-Ra'uf, Ar-Rahim. And He described His Prophet ﷺ to be Ar-Ra'uf, Ra'uf Ar-Rahima, Bil-Mu'minina Ra'uf Ar-Rahim. So these are common because one does not call an individual with Allah's beautiful names and attributes and intending that these are similar to Allah's beautiful names and attributes. And likewise for An-Nur. What do we call this light in Arabic? It's An-Nur. So we say turn off An-Nur, turn on An-Nur, though An-Nur is one of Allah's names. So there is no problem in calling an individual Nur or calling an individual Al-Hakim, the wise. Luqman Al-Hakim, for example, is known to be Luqman, the wise man, etc. So I hope this answers these questions. Abdullah's question from Nigeria, he's saying that we know that in the circles of knowledge, the barakah descends, the angels descend, and Allah mentioned them in His court, in His gathering, subhanahu azza wa jal. So does this also include the circles that people do in the masjid before the Jumu'ah? I've seen this in some countries. The Jumu'ah time is 12:30, they come at 11:30, and the khatib makes a lecture to them or the sermon of Friday for an hour, and just before the time for the adhan, he stands up on the minbar, he says, on the pulpit, he says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The muadhin gives the adhan. He gives like 5 or 6 minutes of 2 sermons where he sits in between in Arabic, nobody understands what he's saying, and then he leads the prayer and they leave. Now this is not the sunnah at all. The Prophet ﷺ forbade and told us do not have these circles before Friday because it takes all the concentration from the Friday prayer itself. So it is not permissible, it is an innovation to make these circles before Friday in the masjid as the people do this. What to do? Ya akhi, make your khutbah of Friday in your native language. When I go abroad to places where they speak English, I give 2 khutbahs in English. But I begin it with praising Allah in Arabic, with the Shahada in Arabic, and 3 verses we all know in Arabic. So the portion that has to be in the khutbah is done in Arabic, and the rest so that the people would benefit. But if they come to Friday khutbah and they sit there for an hour listening to a khatib saying his sermon in Arabic, and they're unable to understand what he's saying, and it's just something that they have to do. This is not the essence and the reason of having Jumu'ah. he is saying that the ruling on saying this dua, La ilaha illallah, or La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, 21 times before going to bed, this is an innovation and it has no basis to it. Muhammad from Nigeria, he's saying that sometimes I listen to the Qari reciting a surah from the Quran. So can I follow and read with him? The answer is yes. Whether you're reading it from the Mus'haf itself, reading it from the Quran and reciting it with him so that you can correct your recitation, or like we all do, sometimes we listen to a very beautiful reciter reading the Quran and we repeat with him in the same melody, in the same way of doing it, because we like his voice and definitely we like the Quran more. And he's saying that, is it a sin to make tasbih, subhanallah, subhanallah, with my left hand? The answer is no. It is not a sin at all, but it is not the sunnah. The Prophet ﷺ used to make tasbih only with his right hand. So you should restrict yourself to making tasbih with your right hand, but to hold the count. So if, for example, I want to say subhanallah wa bihamdih 33 times. So I say 5 times and I do this, meaning set of 5, and then set of 10, set of 15 until I finish, so that I can keep the count. There's no problem, because I'm not doing tasbih with my left, I'm doing it with my right, and this is just keeping the sets or the counts with us. Fatima from Dubai, she says, how excuse me, how do we know that this particular entity, excuse me again, this calls for some mango juice. Okay, how do we know that this particular place is an Islamic bank? Well, actually, you cannot. So how do I know that this particular hospital has good surgeons? Well, you can't. You just go in, and then if you don't have knowledge and the surgeon says, I have to open you, and you say, okay, go ahead. If you die, then it's a bad hospital. If you don't, then it's a good hospital. So what do I do? Before you have a surgery, you'll never go blindly to that hospital. You ask. So you ask the people of knowledge. You ask those with experience, is this particular hospital good or bad? And they say, well, let's look into the processes and procedures. And once they look into it, they have a problem with this and that. No, it's not a good hospital. Be careful. Likewise with the Islamic banks. If someone comes to me and say, this Islamic bank, I managed to get 100,000 to be paid over a period of 2 years with an interest of 20%. I said, how did you do that? He said, I don't know. They just gave me the money and I signed a contract. Now this is not Islamic. In an Islamic bank, they don't lend you money for money. They sell you a product. So if they actually sell you something and you get hold of that something and you take it and you sell it somewhere else, this is halal, this is Islamic. So how do I know? As an individual, you have to ask the people of knowledge in Dubai, if you have any. And definitely you should have a lot. So you should go and ask them. I went to borrow, I went to finance something, and they told me I have to follow these steps. Once they look into it, they can tell you if it's halal or haram. Second way is to look into their Sharia board. So if the scholars on their Sharia board are trustworthy, known, well-known scholars in Islamic finance, and they have lectures and books and people, other scholars say that yes, these guys are good, and then this inshallah is one of the ways of doing this. Your husband also has to go and check for such scholars in Dubai and ask about them. How would he get a good job? I believe that there are so less Islamic banks as they should be. That is why finding a job in these places is not as easy as finding it in the conventional haram riba-based banks, because these guys pay a lot and they have a lot of money, and we have a lot of weak Muslims who still deposit their money and trust them. So he has to look a little bit more. And finally, She says that what's the ruling on dealing with stocks from the house? If the company is financed Islamically and the product is good and you buy from your own money, it is permissible. But if the company sells tobacco or deals with media or alcohol or hotel business, as the haram hotel business, as in the case where the hotels sell intoxicants and they provide their customers with nightclubs, and it's all what you know, this is haram. But if it's a company that sells detergents and they do not finance their products or their operations with haram money and riba money, and you're buying it from your own money, you're not having someone lending you like a bank or something, then in this case it is permissible, inshallah, though I would recommend that you avoid it, as it involves a lot of great loss, and it's like gambling. Today I'm going to buy, tomorrow I'm going to sell, and you don't actually know what you're buying or selling. It's only the screen. Bashir from Saudi, sorry for keeping you waiting, akhi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yeah, I have a question regarding my father is telling that to break the ties with uncles because they have cheated us.
Because they are what?
They have cheating.
Cheating, okay.
Yeah, even after my death. He's telling even after my death, you don't have to make the ties with the uncles. So in this condition, what should we do?
Okay, any more question?
No, thank you.
Okay, I'll answer you, inshallah. Muhammad from Nigeria. Okay, I think we lost Muhammad. Okay, Shakur has a question. He said, is it permissible to shave or trim the beard over and above the cheeks? Please answer in the light of the Quran and Sunnah. The beard, it's called in Arabic al-lihya, and al-liha is the jaw itself. So whatever hair that grows on your lower jaw, so this is my lower jaw and this is the upper jaw, so whatever grows on the lower jaw, this is untouchable. You're not allowed to do it. So whatever grows here on the upper jaw or on the upper place of your cheek, this is permissible for you to shave, to remove, to cut short. It's totally up to you. And whatever grows on your neck, this is not growing on your lower jaw, so this is also impossible to remove if you wish, though I do not encourage that. Mushtaq says, is casting votes for a candidate who represents non-Islamic constitution, as in the present scenario, allowed? So the brother is asking, we're Muslims, we're living in a non-Muslim country, and they have a constitution that definitely has no relation to Islam. Can we vote? And the answer is, Muslims look always at the conclusion and they weigh the pros and cons. So if the pros are heavier, and they go with it. So let's take a scenario in a country of XYZ. In this country, they are calling for voting, either for the president or for the parliament members or for whatever. And the Muslims there know that if they vote or do not vote, this would not change a thing, because they are so minimum in their number and they have no impact on the voting system. In this case, it is prohibited for them to vote. But if there is a weight of them, for example, there are two candidates, and the Muslims are like 6 million, 7 million of the population, and if they vote, they would make one of the candidate better chance, give him better chances of winning than the other. We would look at the two candidates. If they are alike, if they're so evil, so corrupt, or they're kafir, they have no gain for us as Muslims, in this case, it is not permissible for us to vote. But if one of them is right-wing, for example, extremist, and he says, get all the immigrants out, we have to block the Muslims, we have to ban the hijab, we have to do this, then it is mandatory upon the Muslims to vote for the second one. who doesn't say these bad things. He's less in evil. So he doesn't say that the women should not be veiled. This is freedom of expression, freedom of wearing whatever you want. So he says, no, the women can cover, no problem. The men can pray in the masjid, no problem. We have no problem with slaughtering halal animals, no problem. All of the, and the other one says, no, we have to work against this, we have to do this and that, and kick them all out and throw them in the sea. In this case, each and every Muslim individual must vote for the other one, so that this evil person would not get a chance to do his evil. And Al-Bashir's question, he's saying that his father is telling him to boycott and to sever the next of kin, his uncles. Why? Because they cheat. So can we obey him? Can we, are we obliged to do so? And the answer is no. You must disobey your father. Whenever your father tells you, do not speak to your uncle, do not speak to your cousin, he is ordering you to disobey Allah Azza wa Jal, regardless of his reasons. In this case, there is no obedience to any creature in disobeying Allah Azza wa Jal. The rule is, there is no obedience to any creature in disobeying the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. So try your level best not to face him head on and telling him, no, I'm going to see them, I'm going to talk to them, even if you ordered me. No one in his sound mind would do this. Try to see them and to communicate them and to be kind with them against your father's will, but without him knowing. Ahmed says, when you say, or when you make sa'i after tawaf, you have to go up the hill of Marwa and Safa until the columns, or is it enough to turn at the end? The scholars say that you do not have to climb all over al-Mas'a to al-Safa and al-Marwa, but rather just as you climb up, just as you go a little bit up, this is enough. And they usually make a mark for it for the wheelchair. There are two fences for the wheelchair, or barriers that prevent people from mixing with those who are walking. So if you reach that area and a little bit go up, then you can go back again, and this would suffice, inshallah. Do we have any calls? Do we have any calls? Okay. Apparently, the program is not a big success. We don't have any calls, and I'm running out of questions. So, talking, generally speaking, about a lot of the mistakes that Muslims do in their masjid. A lot of the people, and I've seen this in the people from the subcontinent, and I always tell my children, and I always tell my locality, the people from the subcontinent have the greatest rate in preserving the Sunnah prayer. MashaAllah, the people from India, from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, the 12 rak'ahs of Sunnah, you will find them all the time praying it and never missing it. And some of them even pray 3 rak'ahs after Isha and after the 2 Sunnahs of Witr. Yet, when they go home, they pray night prayer. MashaAllah, they have a lot of keenness on following the Sunnah, MashaAllah. However, they have some mistakes, and I believe we have a caller, so we'll take the call and then we will follow, inshallah. Reem from Saudi.
Yes, assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
My question is, I saw a dream, a small baby reciting Quran. Please can you interpret it? And I'm also daily reciting Quran, his with 40 surahs.
How old are you?
I'm 12 years old.
12 years old, inshallah.
I'm 12 years old.
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah. Ridwan from Nigeria. Brother Ridwan?
No.
Yes, akhi, what's your question? Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes. Please, somebody leaves with the intention of performing Umrah. But before he performs Umrah, he decides to visit the Prophet's mosque in Medina. My question is, at what point will he, where is his miqat?
Okay, I will
Is
answer.
it after the visit to the Prophet's mosque, or he has to take his miqat from where Nigerians should take?
Okay,
Then talking about Umrah itself,
okay.
is there any difference in terms of reward between performing Umrah before Ramadan and performing Umrah during Ramadan? These are my questions.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Maryam from Kuwait.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, Sheikh Assim, I have one question.
Yes.
These international pharmaceutical companies, they have budget for the doctor's education. Is it allowed for the doctors to accept this medical, if the medical representative said we want to offer you some money and we want to sponsor you for some conference?
Okay.
Is it okay to accept this offer or not?
Is your husband working as a salesman for these
No,
pharmaceuticals?
I'm the one.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm the one working. And medical representative, they are offering us to attend some conference on their sponsorship. Is it allowed?
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah. Fuad from Emirates.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I have one question. For first salah, if Jama'ah is finished, and I'm praying individually the first salah, the 4 rak'ah, and meanwhile another Jama'ah started, people who come afterwards and they start the prayer of with Jama'ah. Can I break my first prayer and then I can go with them and start my praying?
Okay.
Or shall I continue and repeat my prayer?
Okay, second
This is my
question. Only one.
Yeah,
Good, Zach. Suha from Saudi.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, I have questions here. It is like my father had a operation last year, and he was in dialysis actually. So he had a kidney transplant, and he intended to perform Umrah once he gets well. So after a year, now that he's fully recovered, he wants to perform Umrah, but he doesn't want to wear the ihram from the country which he stays there. So is it permissible that he comes here and goes to the miqat and then wears the Umrah, or he's ready to give the sacrifice for the animal, but
Where does he live? Where does he live, Suha?
He lives in India.
So he wants to come to Jeddah and stay for a week and then go to Taif for ihram and resume his Umrah?
Yeah, he will go to miqat and then he'll wear the Umrah ihram.
Second question.
Yeah, and the second question is, like, in our custom back there in India, we have this ritual of the bride being gifted a piece of jewelry which has black beads in it. It's actually a traditional thing being followed by the Hindus. But now it's just that since past few centuries, the Muslims also have adopted it as well.
And what is the concept of these black beads in the Hindu tradition?
They say that it wards off the evil eye, and it's for the married women.
Okay.
And this is a piece of jewelry. It has a gold pendant attached to the black beads.
Okay.
So the Muslims, we don't wear it with that intention. It's just that because the girl is married, we give it to her as a traditional jewelry.
The third.
Is she allowed to wear it, or it's not permissible?
Third question.
The same question goes for the thing which they drape around the Hindus. They call it sari. Can Muslims wear that thing? Because again, it's a thing adopted back there in India by the Muslims as well.
A sari is the one that exposes the belly button area and the stomach?
Yeah, but then it's worn decently, not exposing it, not exposing the body.
Okay, and this is not to be worn outside the house, only in front of women and mahram?
Yeah, in front of women and mahram, yeah, and usually in the functions or so. We're worn in a decent way, different from the ones like they were in the Hindus.
Okay, any more questions?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Okay, we have a another question from Riyadh. Who's the caller? Yes, Riyadh.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam. Your name?
My name is Abu Mujahid, sir.
Abu Mujahid. Yes, Abu Mujahid. What can I do for you?
Yeah, my question is regarding the collateral, sir. For example, my neighbor borrowed money from me using a collateral, his piece of land with the coconut trees. Our contract, for example, is 1 year. And we agree in 1 year I can harvest those coconut trees, and after 1 year, he will return my money in full. My question is that when I harvest those coconut trees, is it riba or not?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I think we have time to answer. Reem from Saudi Arabia. Muhammad? Muhammad from Saudi Arabia?
Mauritius, from Mauritius.
From Mauritius. Oh, beautiful country. Yes, Muhammad.
Yeah.
Yes, what can I do for you?
Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum salam, akhi.
And I would like to know if when we send salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in salah,
okay,
in tashahhud, does Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam reply us this salah, this salam, this salam?
Would the Prophet do what? Reply?
Yeah, did he reply us the salam when we send salam to him in tashahhud?
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah. Okay, Reem from Saudi Arabia, she is 12, mashallah, and she said that she saw a child in her dream reciting the Quran. So what's the significance in this, inshallah? I don't have knowledge in dream interpretation, but for someone your age, inshallah, Allah Azza wa Jal will grant you a child that would become an imam of Islam, inshallah, of course, after you get married, and Allah would bless you with a child of your offspring who would become an imam of Islam. But again, I'm not good at dream interpretation. Radwan from Nigeria, he says, now if someone is coming for Umrah and then decides to go to the Prophet's mosque, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so where should he perform his Umrah from, his Ihram from? We know that the people coming from Nigeria, they would probably come from the south. I'm not sure where their miqat is, but regardless, if you do not make your ihram from your miqat and land in Jeddah and decide to go to Medina first, then you have to make your ihram from the miqat of Medina, Dhul Hulayfa, or known today as Abiyar Ali. But if you come to Jeddah or to anywhere else and you would want to go to make Umrah, you have to go back to your original miqat and make Umrah. In short, if you come, but you don't go to Mecca, you go straight to Medina or stay somewhere else in the vicinity of Mecca, but not assume your ihram, and you go to Medina, then you make your ihram from the miqat of the people of Medina, inshallah. He's asking, is the Umrah difference in reward in Ramadan or in other months than the Ramadan? The answer is definitely. The Prophet ﷺ told us that the Umrah in Ramadan is equivalent to performing Hajj with the Prophet ﷺ. So definitely Umrah in Ramadan is much greater in reward than elsewhere. Maryam from Kuwait, she says that she's a doctor, and we all know that, especially in the Gulf, I don't know if it's the same outside, probably it's worldwide. The pharmaceutical companies send their salesmen with a lot of gifts to a particular doctor so that he would prescribe their medication. Usually these gifts come as expensive watches, laptops, pens, mobile phones. Sometimes they say that let's go to Sharm el-Sheikh, there is a convention for 3 days, bring your wife, bring your children, we give you business class tickets and a nice 5-star hotel. It's a convention, we're not giving you anything. This is a bribe. If you as a doctor were an engineer and sitting home, they would not come close to you. So they're actually doing this to promote their medication, and their medication might be the best in the market. Nevertheless, accepting something that you did not work for, this is considered to be a clear bribe, and it's not permissible. Fuad from the Emirates, he says that he's praying in the masjid, Dhuhr prayer. He missed the first jama'ah. And while he's in the first rak'ah, another jama'ah is being called and they're praying the second jama'ah. So now he's praying on his own. Should he void his prayer or continue his prayer? It's an issue of dispute. I believe that if he changed his intention from fard prayer into sunnah, so if he prayed one rak'ah, he prays another rak'ah as sunnah and finishes his prayer and catches the second jama'ah, that would be permissible, inshallah. Suha from Saudi Arabia, she says her father had a kidney transplant, and I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal that He cures him and He restores his health to better than it was before. She says he wants to come to Jeddah, land, stay for a week or so, and then go to Taif, assume his ihram from Taif, which is his original miqat, and go and make his umrah. There's no problem in that at all, inshallah. And she's saying about a form of jewelry that the people in India give as a gift to the bride. And they say that this is similar to what the Hindus do. Actually, it is a Hindu tradition. It's a special necklace, or it has like black beads in it. And the Hindus do this to prevent the evil eye and all kind of evils, to cast them away. And the Muslims picked up along with other traditions, and they're doing it now to their brides. Is this permissible? The answer is definitely not. See, if it's the concept of giving jewelry, there's no problem in that. But to have a specific format of that jewelry, and having these black beads into it exactly similar to that, and claiming not to have the intention of the Hindus, this is unbelievable. It's like someone coming and a woman giving a child a necklace with a blue eye or a blue marble or whatever they use it, and everyone knows in Arabia that this is used to cast away evil eye. So she gives it to the newborn and saying, no, my intention is good. No, your intention is not good. Why did you choose this blue one? Why wasn't it green or yellow or whatever? Because the people believe in it. So yes, you can give as much jewelry as you want to the bride, but avoid what simulates or looks like the Hindus' jewelries. She's saying, what's the ruling on wearing the sari? The sari is a national dress in my thinking and believing. I'm not from that country, so you may have to ask the people, the scholars of your country. But in my point of view, the way I see it, is that the sari is a national dress that women wear. Wearing it as the Hindus do is totally prohibited because it exposes places that should be covered. But if a Muslim woman wears a shirt, as they do sometimes, and they wear the sari that has a waist wrapper and it extends to cover the upper body, and it is not giving the form of the body, and it's not exposing the beauty of a woman, but it's just a normal cloth, and she doesn't show it to non-mahram, I believe inshallah that this is permissible. Abu Mujahid from Riyadh says that I have a contract with someone, and this contract I've been asked about in so many places, especially in India and the Philippines. People say that we give someone, let's say 100,000 riyals as a loan for 2 or for 3 years, and they let us live in their apartment for 2 or 3 years. And when the period is over, we evacuate, we leave the apartment and give it back to them, and they give us back our 100,000. So is this halal? This is riba. Likewise, I give you 100,000 and you make me harvest and enjoy your coconut trees. So I take the coconut and I sell it and I eat it for 1, 2, 3 years. After the period we've agreed upon is over, you come and give me my money back and I leave your farm. This is riba. It's a loan, and the rent was the interest, the riba, or the coconut trees and benefiting from them were the riba, and this is not permissible. Likewise in cars and everything that you pay a loan and get it back while utilizing something else in return. And final question, Muhammad from the Mauritius Islands. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant us a visit. It's a beautiful country and Muslims should go there. The majority of the population, to my understanding, if I'm not wrong, are Muslims and they're quite conservative, mashallah. I might be wrong. He's saying that when we offer salam to the Prophet ﷺ in prayer, does he actually reply to our salam? The answer is yes. Not only in the prayer, but also when we're talking like this and we say, Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Muhammad. This is delivered by an angel that Allah Azza wa Jal has appointed to deliver all the salams worldwide that come to the Prophet ﷺ to the Prophet. And the angel would say that Asim al-Hakim offered salam to you, and the Prophet would reply to that, Allahumma salli wa sallim alayhi. How would he do that with 6.5 billion people, hoping that they will all embrace and accept Islam one day, and they will? So how would he do that? This is something that is beyond our comprehension, because the Prophet ﷺ is not in this world. This would be impossible. He is in a transitional period that is known as al-barzakh. And the life in al-barzakh is unlike the life we have here. So we have to believe in it as it is something that goes beyond our comprehension. And we believe that he answers our salam. I'm afraid that this is all the time we have. Until we meet next time, fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate